As you walk through the world carrying worries on your shoulders and outcomes in your hands, you can readily forget a simple yet holy truth. You were never meant to carry the weight of life alone. Every burden that presses on your chest, every question that contemplates how your problems will resolve, every time frame your mind desperately tries to control, none of it was entrusted to you. You were asked only to believe and let God take care of the impossible. The moment you begin to force outcomes, or when you overthink life situations and try to solve all that sits beyond your reach, you step into a role that does not belong to you. It belongs to the divine. And God has never once failed in his work. Surrender has been misunderstood in this world, called weakness, passivity, even irresponsibility. This is not the truth known to the divine. Surrender is faith so deep and anchored that the heart simply says, I release what is not mine to carry, and I return it to the hands that have always held me. True surrender is not putting down your burdens and problems for a moment only to pick them back up the moment worry rises. True surrender is handing it to God, trusting in the divine and refusing to take it back. It is trusting that in God has heard your prayer and has already answered it, that what you long for has already been formed in the unseen, and that your only task now is to remain in the knowing and unwavering belief that it is already done. Understand that your inner world is the cause of all things. What you see outside is merely a mirror, a reflection of what you have already accepted as true inside yourself. Worry rehearses all problems, and fear waters the very seed you wish would grow. Visiting your worries like you would good friends, or checking for signs at every waking moment, or asking yourself if what you have prayed for is on its way, are all simply the means of digging up the roots of what you have already planted. By giving your worries, doubts, and fears to God allows an effortless transition into alignment, allowing you to move from panic into peace, from fear into quiet, and be held by a steady knowing. But the most sacred sign that you have truly surrendered comes from the clearest signal that you trust in the divine and is the presence of gratitude, not gratitude after the blessing arrives, but gratitude before, gratitude while the outer world remains the same to your human eyes. Gratitude that naturally rises within because the soul knows it is done in the kingdom of God, in the kingdom of the beginning of all things. You see, gratitude is not a polite courtesy nor a mental exercise. It is a frequency, a felt state, a holy language spoken between your soul and God. When you feel genuine gratitude, not forced nor imagined, but rather real gratitude deeply from the heart, you declare to the divine that you believe and trust in God and know that everything has been done for you. In that moment, your inner world rises into agreement with the higher truth, and the outer world begins its rearrangement. So, when the prayer arises in your heart, when the desire is born, know that all the fulfillment you seek already exists, and you are merely waiting for materialization. You are not asking God to create it. You are aligning yourself with what the divine has already prepared. Align yourself now with gratitude, with quiet praise, with the deep, gentle feeling of grace and thanks. For this very gratitude you feel in your heart, is the proof you have stopped digging up the seed. It is the water that nurtures the harvest. It is the inner state that declares to the divine that you are already standing in the answered prayer. The divine does not respond to panic. It responds to peace, to rest, to the calm certainty that comes when you have handed everything over to God's hands and left it there. So walk as though it is already answered. Speak as though the way is already made. Walk through life as the person who knows the blessing is on its way, because it is. Set the table. Open the space. Build your inner readiness, returning every time, again and again, to gratitude. Guard your inner world with reverence. Tend to your imagination with care. Treat your gratitude as the sacred signal that aligns your soul with divine reality. For you are not trying to convince God to move. You are agreeing with what God has already done. You are not waiting for the divine. The divine is often waiting for you to trust, to release, to stand in gratitude as though the blessing has already arrived. Because when you live from that place, when gratitude becomes your home, your heartbeat, your daily language, life unfolds with a grace that effort alone could never achieve. Rest in this. Trust in this. Live from this. Give it to God. And don't take it back. Let gratitude be your signal, your alignment, your declaration of faith. For in gratitude you rise into the frequency where miracles are already waiting.